Now, if I said that relationships are about power dynamics, you might think it's simplistic of me, or even narrow in focus, in that I'm looking at it purely from a transactional viewpoint. However, I do urge you to stay with me as we continue on this journey. I might just succeed in persuading you otherwise. Hello, on this week's series of Couch Pieces, we're going to be looking at relationships and what I call the power dynamics. Now, if I said that relationships are about power dynamics, you might think it's simplistic of me, or even narrow in focus, in that I'm looking at it purely from a transactional viewpoint. However, I do urge you to stay with me as we continue on this journey. I might just succeed in persuading you otherwise. I want you to start by trying to think of any relationship you've been in, or you've experienced, or you've heard about. And whilst you're thinking about these relationships, to try and imagine the dynamics within which these engagements, interactions occur, whether it be standards of etiquette, respect, whether it be sort of couched within the cultures of whether your social culture, religious culture. It could have to do with presumed status or expectations, such as within the setting of an employer-employee, husband and wife, family, friendships. In all of these circumstances, we tend to presume on a certain sets of, rules within which we engage, don't we? And what we find is that even where people push against these expectations, they would first have to be conscious of the expectations to begin with, or they soon will be made aware of them. When I worked in radio, I found that something even seemingly simple, like where two anchors were producing or presenting a show, there was this push to ensure that there was a demarcation between the senior or lead anchor and the junior anchor. And where I tried to suggest that couldn't we just have co-anchors, it seemed as though my efforts at pushing for this new way of operating riled quite a few people. Why is it that we find some sort of comfort in establishing tiers of power dynamics within relationships? Insisting on acknowledging status when it comes to professional achievement and attainment by way of titles being emphasized, almost like we're marking territory of some sort. Now, I'm not saying that establishing status or even a hierarchy within relationships doesn't have its vital role to play. Give honor to whom honor is due. However, what I'm saying is that we're mindful that these dynamics, these power dynamics, don't serve as an opportunity to undermine others or even oppress them, or dominate and impose, one side dominating and imposing their will on the other. So, with that in mind, let's continue by looking at power dynamics where it creates this sense of neglect, or even, exploitation. Stay with me.